Can the police search my car without a search warrant? Hey everyone, Anthony Riccio here, founding attorney of Riccio Law, a Massachusetts personal injury and criminal defense law firm with offices in both Quincy and Attleboro, Massachusetts. The question of whether or not the police need a search warrant to search your car is an issue or a question that regularly comes up in criminal defense work. Although the United States Constitution, as well as the Massachusetts State Constitution, generally frown upon warrantless searches and disfavor them, the law does allow, in certain circumstances, for the police to conduct searches even if they do not have a search warrant. So in Massachusetts, as well as throughout the United States, there is what's called the automobile exception, which creates an ability for police to conduct warrantless searches of motor vehicles in certain situations. And what the automobile exception allows is in situations where the police have probable cause to believe that there is contraband or evidence of a crime in the car, then they are able to search that car without first having to get a search warrant. And the reason or the thought behind creating the automobile exception is due in part to the inherent mobile nature of cars and the potential situation that the mobility of cars creates is if the police were to pull over a car and during the course of their interaction with the individual who was driving the car and any passengers, they develop probable cause to believe that there's contraband or evidence of a crime in the car. If they were then forced to go and apply for and obtain a search warrant, the concern is that the contraband or evidence of a crime that's in the car would be destroyed or removed from the car while the police are going through the process of trying to get a search warrant. So for that reason, the mobility of a car, the law has said that if the police have probable cause to believe that there's contraband or evidence of a crime in that car, then they do not need to obtain a search warrant to search the car. And additionally, another reason behind or thought behind the automobile exception, whether you disagree with it or not, is the idea that there's limited privacy expectations or less privacy expectations for one's car as opposed to one's home. And part of the reason for that is that by getting a car and putting it on the road, you are subjecting yourself to a number of laws and government rules and regulations, and you're putting it out in the public. So therefore, the expectation of privacy with respect to what's in that car is much more limited in the eyes of the law as opposed to, say, that of your house. So the automobile exception is one of the situations where the police can conduct a search of your car without first having to get a search warrant. There are a number of other exceptions that allow police to conduct warrantless searches, and some of them may apply to a car in some situations, and sometimes those exceptions may not apply to motor vehicles. But one of the other available exceptions, for instance, is what's called the plain view exception. And basically what that says is if the police see just in plain view in your car contraband or evidence of a crime, then that essentially gives them the right to conduct a search of the car based on what they observed in plain view. Another exception to the warrant requirement would be a search incident to a lawful arrest. So if you were pulled over and then arrested, the police may be able to conduct a limited search of your vehicle in response to the lawful arrest. And another potential exception, or one that often does come up, is a situation where someone gets arrested and as a result, their car has to be towed either to a junkyard or a towing company's property or to the police station. And if that car has been lawfully towed, the police do have the right to conduct what's called an inventory search. And although the justification behind it is to protect the property of the motor vehicle owner or protect the property that's inside the motor vehicle, it essentially allows the police an opportunity to conduct a warrantless search of a motor vehicle. So those are just a few of the situations where police would have the ability or authority to conduct a search of a vehicle without a search warrant. And if you find yourself in one of those situations where you've gotten into some trouble, the police conducted a warrantless search of your car, I would suggest reaching out to a lawyer for an evaluation because there are a number of potential defenses to warrantless searches. And basically what a criminal defense attorney will be able to do is review the evidence, review the police reports, and make a determination as to whether or not the police actually had the requisite legal standing or authority to conduct a warrantless search. And if they did not, your attorney can file what is called a motion to suppress evidence. And basically that is a motion which is heard oftentimes with police testimony. And it's an argument where your lawyer can argue to the court or to the judge that although the police conducted a warrantless search, they did not have the legal authority to do so in this particular situation. And if you are successful in that motion to suppress, any evidence that is discovered as a result of that unlawful search would not be allowed in as evidence at trial, which could significantly impact the Commonwealth's ability to prosecute you and potentially could even result in the dismissal of the case. So even though search warrants are generally recommended and are favored by the courts and the law, there are a number of exceptions to the warrant requirement. So if you do have any questions and would like to schedule a consultation, feel free to reach out to my office and I'd be happy to meet with you.